So, believe it or not, some friends of ours just gave us this go-kart for the boys. One of their kids flipped it over and damaged it, and they just haven't done much more with it, but it's still relatively brand new. It was actually manufactured in 2020. So you can see I took this wheel off. They damaged this wheel. I've ordered another wheel. I think this steering column is damaged. I may have to do some work on that. Or the steering rod. The steering column I think is bent also, so I may have to get a new steering rod. But I did put a new battery in it because it wasn't turning over. Now I've got it turning over, but it won't start. So I'm wondering if the carburetor is bad because it's been sitting for a long time. So I basically decided, instead of having to take the carburetor off and cleaning it and putting it back together, that would be, I could just get a brand new one right here on Amazon for 13 bucks. So I'm going to attempt to take this carburetor off and put the new carburetor on, and hopefully maybe that'll make a difference. We'll see. So I got the filter portion off of the air filter off the carburetor, and now I'm actually letting the gas come out. I pulled the gas line off the carburetor and I'm letting the gas drip out. I'm actually hoping to empty this gas can, this gas tank, because I think it's had old gas sitting in it, and I don't know if that's been an issue with the carburetor. So it's just another step. I decided, let's see, there is the filter. I'm gonna keep that and use it instead of using the new one, because this one is just, I think it's designed just to stay on here. So I'm just gonna keep using it. So next I need to get this throttle cap off, or the cap that keeps the throttle wire on. It's on there. It's not too tight, but it still needs a little bit of loosening. So you're gonna have a spring in here. It's connected to the throttle cable. You just pull that out. We'll leave that on there for now. I'll move that over. Well, move it over somewhere here so we can get it out of our way. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. Try and get the carburetor disconnected. See what size we're working with here. What we got there? That's 11. Let's go with, it's a 10mm screw. Yep. There we go. My hands are probably in the way, but I'm just basically loosening the screws so I can get the whole carburetor off. So these two screws right here, take the carburetor off. This might take a few minutes just because I can't get in there with anything except a wrench. So I'll kind of edit the video and come back once I get these screws off, and I can take the whole carburetor off. Okay, so you can see I've got the carburetor off now. Here is the old carburetor. I've got it down here. Let me move the camera here. I actually put it on a piece of cardboard because you can see there was still fuel inside the carburetor. So I've got it on a piece of cardboard so that way the cardboard will just soak that old fuel up, and I'll deal with that later. So got the carburetor off. Now this is the throttle cable right here that goes down in the carburetor. I was originally going to just use it because I thought, oh, it's going to be a pain to change out, and it might still be a little bit of a pain to change onto the new carburetor. But I don't really like this old gasket that's on there. I think the other one's probably a better gasket. So this it's kind of a hard gasket. The other one's a soft gasket. So I'm going to attempt to play with this, and the spring will make it a pain in the rear a little bit, but I'm gonna try and get this off, this throttle cable out of this piece so that I can change it out and put the new one on. All right, so it wasn't as hard as I thought to get the throttle cable out. Let's see how hard it is to get the throttle cable on the new piece. Well, first of all, let's start by doing it right. This piece has got to go on here. It's kind of just a protective sheath, I guess, goes on here. You can see this gasket, this black gasket, it's a little bit softer, and so I like that one better on the new carburetor. So let's see how hard it is to get this to get this new piece on. The throttle cable. So we're gonna put the spring on there. That gasket's already coming off a little bit, but that's okay. I can get that figured out. So we're gonna push. This is gonna be the hard part, really. I guess gonna have to. Well, I don't know. Maybe it won't be hard. Push this. Yeah, I gotta push the spring up. All right, so let's see here. So I'm gonna have to push the spring up so I can get the throttle cable to thread through here and grab onto that, and then I can let the spring go. That's gonna be the hardest part, is dealing with this spring. Get it threaded all the way up there. Get my fingers in front of it here and see if that'll help. If I can at least get this part done, then, oops, no. All right, so I'm gonna put the camera, I'm gonna turn the camera off while I get this figured out, and then we'll get it back on. Okay, well that definitely took some doing, but we finally got the throttle cable back in there with the spring, and I've already pulled on the throttle cable a few times, and I can see that it is working. It is opening up the carburetor the way it should be. So now we will be putting the carburetor back on. We'll be hooking it back up here. Push that down some. It did come with another gasket here that I'm going to be using to hook the carburetor back up. See, it's got this little, it's like a gasket within a gasket. I'm putting this rubber piece in here to make sure it's sealed good and tight. So once we get this all linked back up, we'll come back on the video again. All right, so I got everything hooked back up. You see there's the new carburetor in there. I just turned the gas line on to let some gas run down into it. I've looked at it, I don't see any gas dripping anywhere, so that's a good thing. So now I'm going to attempt to see if it actually starts up. And if not, then, well, we didn't fix the problem, but at least we got a new carburetor on. So let's see here. Look at that. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that was a good start. Let's see. All right, let me pull on the throttle cable. Let me choke it a little bit, see what happens. Pull the choke. So close, so close. All right, well, that's a good start. I think the carburetor was an issue, so let me work on it a little more here. All right, check it out. Got it running. It was the carburetor. So come up here, and there's your throttle. It's in neutral right now, so that's why it's not going anywhere. But hey, look at that. Changed out the carburetor, put a new carburetor on, got the engine running. It sounds like the idle is a little bit off, so I really hope I don't have to take this thing off again to get the idle go to a little bit higher, but hey, it's running now. So that's a step in the right direction. Now we just got to fix the other stuff on it.